Hi, grade sixes. Today we're going to have a look at some of the answers that you should have completed after listening to the story in Nancy and the Moss-Covered Rock, and we're going to chat a little bit about idioms. So I want you guys to make sure that you've done the questions on page 93, but we're not going to go through those together today. Just make sure you've written them in your book and that they're written nicely in full sentences. I will have a look at your personal responses to those when I see you. What I would like you to do is to go through the answers from page 96 after you read the story. So if you can please, you can write corrections or you can elaborate on the answers that you have. Let's start with number 1. Who is the hero of the story? Right. So you'll use a sentence starter like this. The hero of the story is. If you've just written the person's or the character's name, then you are not doing your job. All right, in grade 6, you automatically should be writing a full sentence. Okay. Always use a complete sentence, a detailed, clear sentence where part of the question is in the answer. So if you haven't done that, please, you need to go back and rewrite it as a proper sentence. Okay, good. The hero of the story is Little Spotted Deer. Now, the words little spotted deer are not just describing the animal, it's the actual name of the animal. So if she had a birth certificate, that's what it would say. That's her actual name. So because it's her actual name, those are proper nouns. So please make sure that little has a capital L and it's spelled with 2 T's, L-E, spotted with a capital S, 2 T's in the middle, and deer with a capital D and E-E-R. Make sure that your sentence starts with a capital and that you put a full stop at the end. So the reason I say that she's the hero is because she uses her wits, her intelligence to put a stop to Anansi's greed. She tricks Anansi and helps the animals get their food back. Number 2, who is the villain? So you're going to use the word villain in your answer because it's vital to the question. So you could start it by saying something like this. The villain in the story is. Quickly go to the word villain that you've written down and check the spelling. Is it V-I-L-L-A-I-N? The villain in the story is Anansi. Good. Anansi, that's a proper noun. So make sure Anansi has a capital A. Please check that you've spelled it A-N-A-N-S-I and that you've put a full stop at the end. Now we know that the villain is the baddie in the story. Anansi tricks the animals and steals their food, which isn't very nice. It's quite a villainous thing to do. And it's because of faults in his personality. He's too lazy to find his own food, and so he tricks other animals. Often in fables, you will find a trickster, and the trickster is often a villain. They go around trying to trick the other people in the village or the forest. And at the end of a fable, often the trickster themselves gets tricked, just like in the story. So Nancy was the trickster in the fable, and he was tricked in turn for his behavior by Little Spotted Deer. 3. What values does the story teach? They ask you to choose the best answer. So A, it's important to do as little work as possible. Not a very good value to teach. B, it's important to use your wits to survive, possibly. C, you must work for your own rewards in life. And I chose C because I think it was the most suitable. I would have accepted B because, yes, Little Spotted Deer does use her wits or her smarts to survive. But definitely C for all the animals in the story. I think they learned, as well as in Nancy, that you have to work for your own rewards or your own food. You can't rely on tricking other people or stealing from other people. If you do, you're going to get caught out or you're going to get tricked. All right. Number 4, they ask you to complete the sentence and they say the main message of the story is. So you have to use that sentence starter. And then you will use your own words and you'll write in what you think the main message, the theme that you should come away from the story with. So I said the main message of the story is the idea that, and you could have written a number of different things. Here are some examples. That we should not trick other people, that we should not trick other people out of what they've worked hard for. Or you could say the main message of the story is that we should work hard for what we need and not be lazy like Nancy. Or you could have said the main message of the story is that if we try to trick others, we will end up getting tricked or getting caught out or getting in trouble. So if you've written something similar, that's wonderful. If not, please fill something in or add some of these to your answer to make your answer more detailed. Good. Number 5. Which of the following characteristics of a fable apply to the Anansi story? A. Fables are usually very short. B. Fables teach a moral lesson. C. The main characters are usually animals. D. At least one character has bad or weak qualities. And E. The moral lesson of the fable is linked to the bad character's downfall. So let's look at them each and we'll say if we think yes or no these seem typical of a fable. A is definitely typical of a fable. So you could have written it out and put a tick, or perhaps written it out and put a circle around it, or written it out and said yes. Doesn't matter how you've done it, but I would like you to write these as a list in your book. So I would like you to not just have A, B, C, or A, B, whatever in your book. It's not going to help you in the long run. Please make sure that if you've written A, you've written out what A is so that you can learn these so that you know in the future what a fable contains. Okay. Fables teach a moral lesson. Yes, that's true. So far A and B are definitely characteristics or features of a fable. C says the main characters are usually animals. Yes, yes, yes. The main characters in fables are always animals. In some fables, you might find human beings, but they're usually secondary characters or they're not usually the main characters. D. At least one character has bad or weak qualities. Yes, that's true of a lot of stories, but yes, it's probably the focus of fables. In that we have a villain or a baddie or somebody who has something that is lacking in their personality or their character, and we learn through their mistakes. And the last one, E, the moral lesson of the fable is linked to the bad character's downfall. Yes, so in fact, A, B, C, D, E, if you've written them all out in your book, then you have a list of the characteristics of a fable, and I expect you to know these, all right? So, yes, the lesson of a fable is usually linked to the villain or the baddie or the person who has character faults. Learning a lesson. They might lose a race, they might lose their food, they might trip up, or they might fall out of a tree. Something bad usually happens to the character either because of their laziness or their sneakiness or their cowardice. So that helps us to learn moral lessons. So I want you to reread the information about idioms on page 28 and 41 of your textbook to make sure that you remember what idioms are, because we're going to chat about idioms next. So we're actually looking at page 97 in our book. Remember, an idiom is a commonly accepted way of saying something. It's more of a traditional, old-fashioned way. It's figurative language. So we say one thing, but it has an indirect meaning or perhaps more than one meaning. So we've already looked at some examples. For example, it's raining cats and dogs. The direct meaning or the literal meaning would be cats and dogs raining down from the sky. Wow. But the indirect meaning is that it's storming and that the rain is falling very hard. All right. They ask you to do something. Number 1, you need to copy these idioms into your English book. Next to each idiom, write its correct meaning. Please, you can copy from your textbook. You don't need to copy from the slides, but I want to read them through with you so that you can hear the way that they sound. And after this, I'm going to be chatting to you about the answers. All right. You can choose the correct meaning from the list at the bottom of page 97. So we've got A leopard cannot change its spots. So all you need to be doing now is thinking about what you think that means. I would like you to write it out just as you see it, and then underneath or next to write the meaning that you think it means. All right. So let's first look at the list and then we'll look at the possible meanings. So when you're writing, please write out the whole sentence and its meaning next to or underneath so that they are together. B, don't count your chickens before they hatch. C, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. D, keep your feet on the ground. E, let sleeping dogs lie. F, love me, love my dog. So here are the meanings to choose from that are in your textbook. One of them means don't stir up trouble. Another means however hard you try, you cannot change your basic nature. Another one means if you love me, you must love everything about me. Another one means It's rude to try and work out how valuable a gift is. Just be grateful. And another one means be sensible and practical, even when you achieve success. And then wait until you actually have something before you start thinking it's yours. All right. So do that exercise when you get a chance. You can either pause now and do it, or you can do it at the end of the video. Number 2, what idioms are represented by each of these pictures? I'm going to show you what it looks like in your textbook. All right. So A, there is a horse. It's facing the wrong way, and there's a cart. All right. So the horse is not in the right place, as you can see. B, there is a very small pond with one huge fish in the middle. And C, there is somebody who's pulling their horse toward a trough of water, and the horse is being very stubborn. All right, so what you are going to do is you're going to write A, B, and C underneath each other like that, and you're going to see if you can remember the idiom that goes with the picture. All right. So this is what you need to do. Make sure that you've corrected and elaborated your answers from page 96 of your textbook. Then do all the activities on page 97. In the next lesson, we'll go through those answers and I will read you another short fable. All right, well done. Keep working hard and make sure your book is looking good and that you're keeping up to date.